Okay, here's the big one, y'all. Hey everyone, it's Ava here. I am super excited to be filming this today, and yeah, it's probably gonna be a long one. My entire makeup collection tour and a brief overview of my makeup journey. I really don't want makeup to be the main focus of this channel, however, I do have a love and a passion for beauty, makeup especially. It's kind of the catalyst that got me into that whole world. And I do want to make some content on it. Not a lot, but some. And I figured the first and probably the best video I could make on the subject would be an entire tour collection and talking a little bit about how I got here when it comes to makeup. So, strap in. It's probably going to be a kind of long one, but we'll see. Remember that if you like this video and want to see more of what I do, go ahead and subscribe down below. So without further ado, let's get into chatting. Alright, so let me preface this by saying that I have definitely been influenced. I know it's a kind of scary word to some and may mean nothing to others. It's just kind of how it is now. But what I mean by that is that my collection and my interest in beauty in general is stronger than I would say the average beauty consumers. And I think that's because my love of beauty came about at the height of 2016 beauty YouTube. Before 2016, which is the first time I did my makeup, it was the summer before college, I believe. I had absolutely nothing. I did not have a skincare routine. I never put a makeup product on my face ever except when my mother forced one on me. Love you, Mom. I forgive you now. In fact, I would say I was one of those really annoying girls that kind of looked down on other girls who did wear makeup when I was secretly just jealous of their technique. I don't do that anymore, thank God. But yeah, as soon as I watched someone do it, just like on a video, I think my first YouTuber that I watched do her makeup is actually Mortimer, Erin Hansen's wife. I immediately took back what I said and just got really invested in it as an art form. I tried to like follow YouTube tutorials I would see, and I was so bad, but I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. I was also an emo kid, and I feel like if I had learned how to do my makeup back then I would have definitely slayed the look better than I did back then. That's a story for another day, though. Maybe one day I'll talk about my scene phase. Anyway, yeah, I discovered beauty YouTube shortly before college, and it was kind of just downhill from there. I've really always tried to strive for having a healthy relationship with makeup. Of course, as soon as I try to film a video, there's like construction going on outside. Anyway, like I was saying, I've only ever tried to do my makeup for the art of it, not really for the enhancement of it, if that makes any sense. I never feel like I have to do it in order to be presentable, I'll just kind of do it for fun. So back to the point of having been influenced in particular, I still watch a lot of beauty YouTubers, but I've definitely cut down on the amount that I've let sway my opinion in particular. I'm pretty selective about the ones that I'll subscribe to and regularly watch now, and I think that's a healthy thing to have with any YouTuber, but especially beauty YouTube, I feel like it is more important. Because it's literally these people's jobs to market things to you, and that's completely fine and valid. But it can lead to things like overbuying and hyperconsumption, and I want to make it clear, I don't think I am, or have ever, or ever could, hyperconsume makeup. I like having a little selection of some different colors, some different formulas. A lot of them were recommendations from YouTubers, but I've never really gone out of my way to buy a product just because someone told me I should. That's the point I want to make bringing up the beauty YouTuber space. It definitely has changed my opinions, it definitely has swayed purchases, but I try not to do that. Especially watching this video, if you see something you have, great. If you see something you want, great. Just be responsible about what you purchase. Since cutting back on subscribing to YouTubers that try to sell me stuff, I really aim to follow people that inspire the behavior that I want to express. Shopping or artistry-wise, for that matter. If a product in my collection was a YouTuber recommendation, I will mention it. I could and probably will eventually go into more detail about my makeup journey, because there's been a lot of missteps in it as well. But I think I'm ready to get into the collection. Not everything is gonna have a very long spotlight, because we'd actually be here for a very long time if I gave everything a really long-winded explanation. We can save some stories for Get Ready With Me videos. If you guys want to see those, please let me know. So I think I've talked enough now. I think we are ready to get into the collection as a whole. Okay, so we are here on my living room floor looking at my makeup box. So the majority of my makeup is stored in this box here, this makeup case. I got this case on Amazon. It's great. It really helps me control my intake because I try not to outgrow this box and how it is currently organized. My palettes are obviously stored outside of the box. They're all arranged here, and we'll go over those at the end. I also want to mention that when I do my makeup in the mornings, I am usually not working out of this box. I used to do that. I used to keep everything in here all the time and work exclusively out of this box when I did my makeup. Ignore the eldritch horrors outside. Alright. Like I was saying. So I found myself getting decision fatigue working out of my whole collection at all times. I wasn't really showing love to all my products in a somewhat equal way. So last year I started to do the shop my stash sort of thing for my top shelf makeup that I focus on for like a few weeks to a month at a time, and then I switch it out and focus on different things. But every time I switch my makeup out, it goes into this box. So for the sake of this video, all my makeup is currently stored in this box, but just know it's usually stored over a few different places when I'm usually doing my makeup. So I'm gonna open up the box and start from the bottom compartments, working our way through the products and categories of product, and like I said, we will do palettes at the end. So let's open her up. Tee hee hee, get joy every time I do that. So we're gonna start with the bottom compartments, and I'm gonna start with complexion, which is stored in this case. These are the most consistent members of my makeup collection and my Shop My Stash. They don't really get rotated out very often because I obviously use at least a little bit of base every time I do my makeup. I rotate through these products pretty consistently, or I just keep them in the box because they're used every time. So primer, foundation, and concealer are all in this compartment here. I will say my favorite primer is actually not in this box. It's currently sitting in my bathroom. It's the Glossier Future Dew. It's kind of a makeup primer and skincare product. I usually wear it as the final product in my skincare routine. It's just really glowy, it smells amazing. I was afraid it was breaking me out the first few times I started using it, but I think my skin has calmed down now. I think it's adjusted to using the product every day. It's also a go-to product if I want to wear no makeup. It just makes my skin look and feel so nice. When I'm not using that primer though, I like to use a few of the primers that are in this compartment. Most of them serve a specific purpose, so let's dig in here. Start off, I have the Milani SPF BFF primer. This is just a good moisturizing SPF primer. For reference, I have dry skin, so I usually need a really hydrating primer if I want to make it through. I usually need a lot of hydration to make it through my day without looking crazy. Power Grip Primer from e.l.f. is another one of these kind of utilitarian primers for me. These two are usually primers I use when I just need like a function done. This one is good for like events and concerts. It really is good for helping your makeup stay all day. A good mix of hydration and stick is actually the NYX Honey Dew Me Up. I've gone through a couple bottles of this. It's just a really pretty product, and it's sometimes a pain to put on, so I don't find myself using this a lot. This is like my third bottle of it maybe, and it's still nearly full, but this is great for stick and for like glowy hydration. I have this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion that I actually recently got. This is a product I used a lot in college, actually. This was like my go-to moisturizer, which it probably shouldn't have been back in the day, but you know, we take those. But I got this to sort of compare it to the Glossier Future Dew, and they're nothing alike in consistency, but they do give a kind of similar feel on the skin, so I like using this as a cheaper alternative. And then one product I like to pair with it is this L'Oreal Prime Lab Redness Eraser Primer. This was a recommendation from Hannah Louise Poston, who a lot of makeup in this box currently is influenced by. It's one of my more recent primer acquisitions, and I do really like it for using in the middle of my face to counteract some of the redness that happens there. I do want to mention, sometimes it doesn't play well with other primers, sometimes it pills a bit, or my skin might just be that dry, but just worth mentioning. The only other primer I have in here is this little Smashbox Photo Finish little blurring mini. I'm probably never going to use this, but I hold on to it just in case. The rest of what's in here is concealers and foundations. I am not very passionate about foundation. Concealer I am pretty passionate about, so I have a couple of those. My favorite concealer here is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I've also gone through quite a few of these. I also currently have the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. This is kind of new to me, and I do really like it. It's pretty similar to the Pretty Fresh concealer, but the colors are kind of meh. If we want to talk about shitty color selection though, this is the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer. I love it, but the color selection sucks on it, and this one is a little bit yellow on me. I can make it work. I probably should have been saying the shade names of everything, shouldn't I have been? Yeah, I'm not really a real beauty YouTuber, who cares? I'll try and name the shades from now on, don't worry. Final concealer in here is my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Madeline. I got this to work a hot summer in Arizona one time, and I did like it. It did pretty much stay where it should have for that purpose. However, it is very dry on me, and I have very, very, very dry skin, so I only really use this as spot treatment. So like I said, I never wear a full face of foundation or any huge coverage products, so I only have 2 coverage products for like foundation, and they're both pretty light. One of them is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I've gone through one of these and probably will never go through this one. I never ever ever wear this. One thing you have to know about me now is that makeup is a huge sensory thing for me. There's a lot of products in this box that I just don't use very often because of the sensory experience of it, and this is one of them. Foundation in general is just one of them, so I don't really get a lot of use out of this. This is in the shade Light 5N. A product I do get a lot of use out of that's also a coverage product is my KVD Good Apple Balm Foundation in the shade Light 012. This is a go-to coverage product for me. I like to put it in the middle of my face, usually where I conceal redness. I just take a little bit of it on a brush, put it in the middle of my face, and kind of blend it in with my concealer, and it makes a gorgeous, gorgeous base for me. You can't see it, but I've been hiding all the products back here near my legs, but once we review a whole compartment, I'm going to put them all back in a nice ASMR noise way. Can I be so real with you guys? I don't love ASMR. I don't really judge people that like it, but I personally don't. Alright, everything is back in there. So now let's move on to one of our other compartments. This compartment here you can't really see well. This is powders. As I said, I'm a dry skin girly, so I don't really use a lot of powder. I have this little roller stick thing from Revlon that I sometimes use to smooth out lines. The only powder I have is ColourPop Pretty Fresh, and it's kind of barely been used. Like if I open this up, like the puff is still in it. You can see there's a dent in it, but like I don't get a lot of use out of this. Powder's very much a seasonal thing for me. If the weather makes me too dry to wear it, then I just won't. So this compartment next to the powders is a fun one. This holds all of my Givenchy Beauty retro liners, bought at the recommendation of Batty Bean. These are really fun. You basically mix a little bit of water in the cap with your brush and then swirl it around in the product. And it just makes a nice water-activated liner for you. These are wonderful for making fun winged liner looks. They're really easy to use once you kind of get the basic learning curve of them. I don't know if how well I'll be able to show off all the colors, but I will name them all. Marigold over here, it's like a yellowish brownie color. Celestial, sort of a dark greeny. Is this a duochrome? Yeah, it is. Some of these are matte, some of these are duochrome. This is Pink Velvet. This is Castle, it's like a red duochrome-y thing. This one is Enchanted, kind of a blue-greeny shift. This one is lemongrass, kind of a grayish green. I love colors like that. This is Lemon Lush, a true yellow. And then I also have this one that also looks true yellow, but it's more like a highlighter color called Crop Top. This one is Hot Pants. This one was probably the first one I got, one of my favorites, just this bright neon orange. This one is Creamsicle, kind of a lavendery color. This one is Blue Raspberry, just like a light blue. Fantasy, kind of a pinky duochrome. This is one of my newer ones, Silk Lavender. It's a lavender, but it's kind of shiny. Dark Rose, this is just like a really dark brown, one of my favorites actually. And the last one I have is Miami Beach, this neon green. I don't get like a ton of use out of these because winged liner is sort of weird and hard on me. It just doesn't really support my eye shape well, at least not making really bold lines, which these are really good for. But yeah, in general, they're fun. They're a good little pop to add to most looks, and I will continue to use them. They're also very satisfying to hold and to put away. There we go. So there are 2 more compartments in this bottom part of the box. This box is kind of a catch-all. It holds eye primers and like bronzer contour products. I have a very back and forth relationship with bronzer. Sometimes I get in phases of really liking it, and sometimes I hate it and never want to wear it again. So we don't have a ton in here, but we do have some bangers. Main banger here is the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. I went through not an entire one of the old one, but I got like really close. I had to throw my old one out. That was when they were like massive size. And then I bought this little one in Arizona. I was like, wait, that's the full size now? I was so mad. Anyway, yeah, this is just like my only cream bronzer stick that I ever really like. Like, this one just works. This is in the shade Baked. Let's see, I got my Halo Glow Contour Wand from e.l.f. This is an acquisition of this year. I've never been really into contouring except when I got this and decided that this was going to be like an everyday product for me. So yeah, love this thing. And then I have a couple powder bronzers. This is my Flower Beauty Heatwave bronzer. This is in the shade Sunrise L1, I think. Yeah. I don't really use this a lot. I just never really got into luminous bronzer that much, but I still hold on to this just because I love the formula. The color is also a bit rosy, which I find makes for a really good bronzer for me. My other powder is the NYX Buttermelt bronzer in whatever the light shade is. Buttercup, yeah, Buttercup. This is just the most silky smooth kind of rosy tone bronzer, like I said. I love everything about it. It just always works. It is pretty fragile, so I don't travel with it a lot. Therefore, I don't really use it all the time, but I still love it. Still using it. Also, in this compartment, I have my 2 eye primers. I have the Milk Hydro Grip and the ColourPop Party Proof. I use both of these pretty frequently, however, they're not tinted, and I find that I like a tinted eye primer or a tinted eyeshadow to use this primer more than these. So these haven't really been getting play recently, but I still keep them in here and use them when the moment strikes, you know. Finally, we have this little nude stick set here. I think this is actually an eye and lip set. Yeah, these are a few different, like, nude sticks products. I'm pretty sure my mom gave me a few of these. It's 2 eye products and 2 lips. The lips I know are called Purity and Sin. What are the eyes called? They're the Magnetic Luminous Eye Color in the shade Bright Eyes and Nudity. I'm pretty sure these came from different sets, but my mom just gave me this whole thing. And I don't really use it a lot because the lip colors aren't really lip colors I use. The eyes are nice though. So again, I just kind of keep in this compartment because it's the only place I can store it. So that's it for that section. Let's put everything away a little more delicately because we are working with powders. And then we finally have this bottom section here. This is where I keep some cream highlights, and it's also kind of a catch-all for some things I've acquired recently. We are getting in the cheek makeup, which is the heaviest part of my collection by far. So I have this lovely guy here. This is the e.l.f. Active Lip and Cheek Palette. This was a recommendation from Hannah Louise Poston, and I freaking adore it. I have to say the marketing for this product is horrible, like, gym makeup isn't really a thing. But these are just like some of the best cream cheeks I've ever used. The highlight especially is a beautiful cream highlight, that's why I keep it in this compartment. It's just so lipsticky and sturdy and feels so good. Everything Hannah says about this product is wonderful. It is super discontinued. I actually had to get it on eBay to try it, and I love it. I really do. But just know you cannot get this anymore. I'm sorry. Also, in cream highlights, I have my e.l.f. Jelly Pop Glow Stick. This is really basic, really nice cream highlight. A more recent acquisition of mine, I actually got this during a Black Friday sale, along with my favorite blush of all time. This is a Rituel de Fille Rare Light Cream Luminizer in the shade Borealis. It's this greeny kind of color. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but it's like a green cream highlight. I have a thing for green highlight. I just love it so much. And this is so freaking beautiful, it hurts me. It's just so wonderful. And then finally for liquid or cream highlights, I have my Tower 28 Super Dew. This is a really good go-to makeup product when I don't really want to wear a lot. It can be kind of hard to work with because it's basically just Vaseline. This is basically just Vaseline in a pretty container. It's gorgeous, and it really works well with my skin, especially when I wear the Future Dew, actually. This product, the Super Dew, and the Future Dew look beautiful together. But yeah, I wear this just as like a Vaseline-y highlight when I don't have a lot of other makeup on, and it's beautiful. I kind of have a feeling it's gonna go bad soon, though. I got it last year in Arizona, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. Tower 28 products tend to go bad really quickly, I've heard. Okay, so we have finished the bottom compartment completely, and now we're gonna move up to the first riser step. This is all cheek makeup. We're gonna go through it pretty quickly because it's gonna take a while. Okay, we're gonna start over here. These are some blushes. This is the Makeup Revolution Sunkissed Nude Blush Balm or whatever. I like this. This is supposed to be kind of a dupe for the Jones Road Miracle Balm, which I don't have and probably will never have. It has to be applied with a brush, otherwise you cannot see it. It just disappears into nothing. Like if I try to swatch it right now, it would look like nothing. It's just a good color on me. It feels nice on my skin. I don't know. It's cheap, it's stinky, but I like it. Now, here are some powder blushes. This is actually my favorite powder blush ever, the Natasha Denona Mini Bloom. I spent like $20 on this one blush, which I thought was insane at the time. But I do freaking love that color. It's so beautiful. Next up is an Anastasia Blush Trio. Remember when everyone had these? It was a crazy time. This is in the shade Cocktail Party. I use the brown one a lot. I use the brown like so freaking much. And the pink doesn't get a lot of use, so these two I love. Next we have one of the NARS blushes. This is in the shade Savage. It still has the like protective thing on it. I can probably get rid of that. Yeah, this is another kind of brownie, nice luminous blush. It's just really pretty. However, I have another blush that's very similar to it actually. This is the NYX Buttermelt blush in the shade Feeling Butter. These look on camera and swatch basically identically. I'm not going to swatch them here. I'm not going to do any swatches here because I'm not about that life. But yeah, NARS Savage and NYX Feeling Butter are basically dupes. They are very similar on the skin. I don't really know how I'd identify the difference between them. Below my NARS blush, I have this, not really a blush, this is a powder contour, if you ask me. This is NYX So Taupe. It's getting really like blown out and looks really brown on camera, but it's really gray. This is definitely a contour color. I went on a hunt for this a few years ago, and I don't really use it for anything but contour, and I don't contour that frequently, so kind of all over the place with this, but I do like it, do hold on to it, because it's hard to get now. Finally, from this compartment, if I can get it out, I have one of the NARS Afterglow liquid blushes. This is in the shade Orgasm. I do like this. I've been kind of trying to pass it along to someone because I found a more perfect pink blush for me. I actually have a few more perfect pink blushes than this, but I swear I like had a dream about this product and had to buy it. I bought it for some reason that I can't really describe now. And it is a pretty formula. It does fade pretty quick, but you know, I don't really care about that. Blush fades really fast anyway. Okay, so that's all of that. Let's move on to this. I just noticed you can see my little recording mouse in the shot. That's really annoying. So these are all of my powder highlights. I don't know if I mentioned, but highlight is actually my favorite step in my makeup routine. I think my top 3 is highlight, eyeshadow, blush, if I had to order them. Yeah, I have a nice selection of powder highlights here. So let's start going through them. This is my Nabla Skin Glazing Highlight in Ozone. It's probably hard to tell how much of a dent there is in this. You can't even see the embossing in it anymore. This is just my go-to powder highlight. I don't know what else to say about it. It just goes with everything. It feels nice. Sometimes I can even apply it with a wet brush and it works really well. Everything about it is lovely. I have 2 Stila highlights. This is in the shade Luminescence. It's kind of this like soft pinky color. I just freaking love this highlight and it goes really well with a few of my pinkier blushes. And I also have Transcendence here, which is kind of a more like iridescent purpley highlight. I used to have whole highlighter palettes for this kind of effect, but I prefer to have just this one highlight if I want like an iridescent kind of look to my makeup. Next door to those, I keep my Fenty Beauty Killawatt Duo, or whatever this is called. This is in the duo Minted Mojito and Sandcastle. You can probably guess which one is which. They are shining really bright, and you can see my computer. Yeah, I also don't use these much. They're a little glitzy for me, but I do hang on to it because I like it. And my final powder highlighter is actually my favorite from a brand that I think exists again. I think. They didn't exist for a while, but now I think they do again. This is my Aether Beauty Pure Diamond Dust highlight. I don't know how to describe how gorgeous this highlighter is. It's just so sparkly and beautiful. This is like my special occasion highlight that I'm trying to make not an only special occasion highlight anymore. Because I love it, I want to get more use out of it, and I only really use it to glitzy events. So I'm gonna try to make that a thing to do, make it more reasonable to wear it anywhere. Alright, that was this tier. Let's move up another tier into some more interesting products. I'm gonna start over here again. So first I have 3 of the Merit blush balms. Is that what these are called? Something like that. I have the colors Mood, Bespoke, and Stockholm. These were all in like a little holiday set that I got this past year. And I do really like them. They're very nice. This is all cream blush, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that this whole compartment here is cream blush. Okay. I have 2 of the Glossier Cloud Paints. I really don't wear these anymore. I have the shades Dawn and Spark. I loved these for a very, very, very long time, but I don't really use them a lot anymore. I just kind of found that other things are easier to use. But these colors are still gorgeous, so I hang on to them for that reason. My favorite blush ever, like I had said, is the Rituel de Feet Eros blush. You're gonna look at this and you're gonna be like, that's not a blush, that's a bronzer. It's a blush. It's like the most cool-toned, lovely brown. I always prefer browns on my skin. And this is just a lovely formula. It's really easy to put on with your fingers or a brush or anything. It smells nice. Everything about the Rituel de Feet, I didn't even say, it's the Interglow Cream Pigment and Eros. Everything about this formula is lovely. I also have, if I can get it out, one of the Fenty Cream blushes. This is in the shade Fuego Flush. Also never really use this, but I really like the formula. It's also luminous, so it leaves my skin looking really glowy and nice. Again, don't really use it, but love the color, so I keep it. I have one of the L'Oreal Lumi Le Liquid blushes or whatever. I also don't really use this. This is in the shade Glowy Gold Pink. This is kind of like that Sabrina Carpenter blush that I could never really look good in. I keep it for now. Might get rid of it eventually. We'll see. One I won't get rid of, though, is the Milani Cheek Kiss blush in the shade Nude Flush. This is just another nice warm blush on me. It feels nice. It's whatever. One blush I love is the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush in the shade Nude Tude. As you'll see, I just really like nudie blushes at this point. I don't really wear my colorful ones that often anymore. And this is just a nice go-to. Sorry about that, y'all. Camera died, had to replace the battery. Anyway, so I have 3 of the Nude Sticks Nudies Bloom blushes, I believe these all are. I have the shades Rusty Rouge, Cherry Blossom Babe, which, as I said, was like the best pink for my skin. And then I have a mini of Picante, which I think was a limited edition one. And I don't really use the bright one that much, as I've been saying. But again, they're so gorgeous. It's a beautiful formula. I do hold on to it for that reason. So let's move over here to some more fun things. In this compartment here, I have the About Face eye gloss. This is called like Vinyl Effect or something like that. I really use this a lot in the summer when I just want literally a gloss on my eyes or face. This is just a really basic product. It's probably not worth the money, but I do use it a lot. It's one of my faves. It's good for that editorial gloss look, if you know what I mean. Also in this compartment, we have my favorite single shadow thing ever. This is one of the Merit Solo shadows. This is in the shade Viper. It's just this really gorgeous green. Just this really gorgeous green. Love it so much. This is one of my go-to products. Just kind of like on the daily. It's really easy and blends beautifully. I'm going to skip this section real quickly and go to these. I have one of the similar looking About Face products. This is one of the holographic eye paints in the shade Lucid Dream. It's very beautiful. I really just use this as a liner. I don't really put this all over my eyes that often. But it's just a nice kind of gimmicky liquid eyeshadow product. About Face makes wonderful liquid eyeshadows if you are the type of girl to use a lot of those, which I kind of am not. Also in here, I have 2 ColourPop Super Shocks. This one is broken as hell. It's Ritz. It arrived broken, and I never really got around to replacing it. This is just a classic one and done all over the lid shadow. And my personal favorite ColourPop Super Shock they ever released is Ice Dream. It's also kind of that holographic, like, white, pink, blue shift. You can't really see it that well on camera, probably, unless I swatched it. Yeah, just my favorite Super Shock. It's the only one I need. I use it a lot during the winter because it's very icy. Very glittery, very icy. And then in this middle section is a lot of different stuff. It's also kind of a catch-all, mainly for pencils and other little eye products. So for one, I have this e.l.f. Espresso Lock-On Brow and Liner, I think. I don't really ever use this. This is just my go-to, like, pot eyeliner if I need one. Good for winged eyeliner and good for brows, but you'll also notice I have almost no brow stuff, because I also don't do my brows. People are gonna get so pissed at this video, Jesus. What else is in here? I have a couple mascaras in here. I currently have the Eye Enhancer from CoverGirl in the shade Berry Brown. I love me a brown mascara, even though I'll also say right now, I don't wear a lot of mascara. It's just one of those sensory things for me, so I also have the Benefit Fan Fest. This was just a free, like, Sephora gift, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I never wear mascara, basically ever, so I hold on to these for those occasions that I want a mascara look, but in general, I don't wear it. I have both eyeliners and lip liners in this compartment, as well as some stamps. I forgot I had these. This is a Little Moon stamp from ColourPop. Also don't really get a lot of use out of that. I also have a heart one in here somewhere. There it is. Also have a heart one. These are fun. Also just don't use them that much. I have a couple of products I use for fake freckles as well, because I tend to do that trend quite a bit. My favorite one is the Nabla Freckle Maker. This one is pretty broken and needs to be replaced, but this is just great for distributing realistic looking fake freckles. I also have the ColourPop Feather Effect Brow Pen that I also use to distribute more freckles when I am layering it with the Nabla. The rest of what's in here is eyeliners and lip liners. Also this True Lip Beauty Eyeshadow 101 stick. I got this off Amazon. This is my current eye primer. If I need a tinted eye primer, I just use this eyeshadow stick. I basically have 2 of every brand of lip liner I use. So I have 2 of the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liners. This is in the shade Gone Greige. You can't really see that, can you? This is in the shade Gone Greige, and then I also have it in the shade Raw Chocolate. I have 2 of the e.l.f. Cream Glide lip liners. These are in the shades Spill the Tea and Baddest Beige. Then I have 2 ColourPop lip liners, or the lippy pencil, sorry, in the shade Grunge and Cool BFF. These are 2 of my most used. It's one of my favorite formulas of anything, really. A lip liner wasn't my thing, I would say, until this year, and then I realized I way prefer to wear a lip liner as opposed to other lip products, because it's just comfier. And I have 2 eyeliners. These are the only ones I ever really use. They're both the NYX Epic Smoke liners. One is in the shade Black Smoke, and the other one is in the shade Nude Haze. Just a black and a brown liner, nothing crazy. Like I said, that's a big catch-all section there. Really all just eye stuff, but it's some eye, some lip stuff. Speaking of lips, we're now moving on to the top sections of the box, which are both lips. This section over here is bullet lipsticks for the most part, and this is mainly liquid lipsticks. I also noticed I kind of have like 2 of every brand I like in the bullet lipstick section. It's sort of funny. So I have 2 of the NYX Suede lipsticks in the shades Moonwalk and Alien. My only black lipstick and this kind of weird greigey color, which I've always loved in Moonwalk. Yeah, these are wonderful. I have 2 of the Maybelline Ultimattes in the shades More Ruby and More Coffee, I believe. I don't really wear these that often, but they are really pretty and I quite like the packaging of them. Speaking of packaging I really like these L'Oreal Color Riche lipsticks in the shades Les Wood Nonchalant, which is a recommendation from Hannah, and also Les Nude Assertive. I like me a bold, grungy lip, what can I say? And these are just it. I also have 2 of the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipsticks, which I hate this packaging, but I do really like these. These are in the colors Dazzling Dough and Enamel Red. This is like the best red lipstick ever. If I want a shiny, like glossy lipstick, I wear that. And Dazzling Dough is a really amazing nude on me too. I only have a couple little stragglers here. This is the L'Oreal Bold formula in the shade Gone Greige. This isn't a recommendation from Hannah. Just happened to find one, and I do really, really love it. And then finally I have this little Rituel de Fille mini lipstick in the shade Adder's Tongue. It's also a red, and it's actually kind of a grungier off red than Enamel Red from L'Oreal. It's beautiful. I love this formula. I got this for free when I was placing my Rituel de Fille order during Black Friday. And I love everything about it. Okay, almost done with the box. So now let's move over here to liquid lips, of which I have very many. I have at least 5 of the NYX Smooth Whip matte lip creams. The soft matte lip creams from NYX used to be my very favorite lip formula like ever, and I still think it is, but I do love these Smooth Whips as well. I have the shades Fuzzy Slippers, Faux Fur, Memory Foam, Thread Count, and Pancake Stacks. Again, just more nudes, more browns, more red, purple leaning tones. Those just look great on me. I have 4 Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks as well. Includes my favorite lipstick color, which is this one right here, this brown here. This is called Chocolate Wasted. It's just the best brown in my entire collection. I have the shade Desert Suede, which I don't think you can get anymore, but that's fine. And then these two are Campfire and Brick. The lighter of the two is Campfire, the darker one is Brick. Love this formula. I don't wear liquid lips a lot, and these are pretty bold on me, but they are beautiful. Love them so much. I also have 3 of these guys. These are from Black Moon Cosmetics. This is the Harvest Trio. I have Cider, Harvest, and Hazel. I don't really know why, but in some lights the yellow looks very similar to the red, but that's fine. Yeah, also got these in the little set. Love them so much. This has been a coveted product of mine for a while. I don't wear them that often because they're very weird and bold colors, but, you know. My one remaining gloss I have, I might have to get rid of soon, the NYX Butter Gloss and Lava Cake. One of my only glosses. I'm not really a gloss girly. My one gloss is actually in a purse right now, I'm just now realizing. As are a few lipsticks, I think. I don't see Black Honey in here. I do have Clinique Black Honey as well, but I think that's in a purse. As is my About Face lip gloss, which is my only other gloss besides this one. This is the NYX Butter Gloss and Lava Cake. I don't use this very often, but I do like it and hold on to it for that reason. Like I said, Clinique Black Honey is in a purse somewhere. This is a very random lipstick I have. It's one of the Colorstay Ultimate lipsticks from Revlon in this color, this very purple color called Vigorous Violet. I use this as a mix-in to make colors more neutral. As my lips are naturally very purple, I tend to use this to mix with other lips to just mess with the colors, see what happens to them. It's kind of fun. Almost done. We've got my Anastasia lipstick in Poet. I just kind of have this. I don't really know context for it, but I do like this color. It's a really beautiful color on me. And finally, I have one of the Air Matte lip colors from NARS in the shade Lose Control. This is a gorgeous formula. I also really like this formula and use this color pretty frequently. It's just beautiful. Okay, I think that's the whole box talked about. I think that's everything. Now we have to talk about palettes. Jeez, this is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna close up the box and scooch it over a little bit. Okay, so I've scooched the box over a bit so we can focus on my little collection of palettes here. Again, I know this video is going to get long, so I'm going to try to blast through these, but I don't really have a lot to say about all these, besides I love them. Some of them are very old and will need to be replaced very soon, but we're gonna get there when we get there. This is one of those palettes. This is the original NYX Ultimate Brights palette. I don't like their reformulated version of this palette. I just don't think it's nearly as strong a rainbow color story as this one. It gets a lot of use though still. It doesn't really look like it's not performing anymore. I'm gonna keep it. I don't know why I'm talking about this as if it's a declutter. It's a collection video. Okay, so next we have the Juvia's Place Bronzed palette. Bronzed Rustic? Yeah, Bronzed Rustic. I actually use this as a blush palette more often than not. I like using the yellow, red, and browns as blushes, and then sometimes the shimmers as liners. It's really pretty, but I don't really use it on the eyes that much. This little guy here is the Sparkler Quad from ColourPop. This just came free in a ColourPop order I got, and it is kind of pretty, so I keep it. So here is a special one to me. This is the It Girl Beauty Book from It Cosmetics. It's actually quite a few different products in one. It's got like a powder and a bronzer and blushes and lips in it, and then it's an eyeshadow palette. This was a gift from my partner quite a few years ago now, and it's really good for travel. I do really like these shadows for travel. Don't really get a lot of use out of the middle bit, but I get a lot of use out of these coverage products and the powder and all that. So I hang on to this for that reason. It's just really convenient, and it was a very thoughtful gift. Here we have one of my faves, the Viseart Petite Dark Mattes palette. This was also a recommendation from Hannah, and this is kind of my go-to travel palette if I want to play with color. Everything about it is just perfect to me. It also just feels nice. The component is like magnificently rubbed off and everything. I just use it all the time. I also have this little palette that I got this year. This is the Ico Limitless 1 palette. You probably can't even say that it says Limitless on the cover. It also still has the protective thing in it. But yeah, this is a just really good everyday palette for me. The shimmer The brown shimmer is actually gorgeous, just all over the eyes. I love the green color and this white shimmer here. Yeah, everything about it's wonderful. Another palette that's basically just a blush palette, like this one is literally a blush palette. This is Hair in Volume 2 from Juvia's. This is very old. I got this from my mom. This is very old, but very well loved. I use this a lot during fall. This is probably my favorite fall palette for blush. I don't really use blush palettes a lot. Not probably more than I should. And into some lovely, lovely things here. So this is my Black Moon Cosmetics Orb of Light palette. I got this when I placed my order for the Harvest trio of lipsticks. And this is so beautiful. I've coveted this for so long, and to finally have it is beautiful. All mattes, you'll quickly see I much prefer matte shadows in general. Yeah, love this one too. I keep the protective thing in it too because it's really pretty. I have two palettes from Alter Ego. One of them is the Wildwood. I don't remember what these are supposed to be duping, at least not this one. I remember that the other one I have dupes the Gold palette from Natasha Denona. I think this dupes the Yucca palette from the same brand, though I don't really know. Yeah, just beautiful warm tones, mainly mattes, but I also love using these shimmers for fun things like glitter tears or whatever. And then Alter Ego Goddess, like I said, dupe for Natasha Denona Gold, which is one that I always wanted but never got. And this is also just beautiful. Urban Decay Naked Honey, I've had this for a long time, especially when I was exclusively into warm shadows. Now I'll kind of mess with anything. But again, warm yellowy tones. I find that I'm most attracted to a palette if it has these warm yellows in it. So that's another banger there. Getting further down into the stack, you'll see my affinity towards certain brands, namely Ace Beauté. I have many an Ace Beauté palette. This is the Classical Paradise. I love everything about their color stories. I'm kind of sad that this brand isn't really doing much right now because I miss these color stories so much. This is a nostalgia. Beautiful summery gorgeousness with this one. This one just gives me such summer vibes. I also have the Flare. These were all recommendations from Baddie Bean, by the way. She's the one that exposed me to this brand. This was her favorite palette for a long time. The Flare. Love it. Love it, love it. Tropical Vibes. This is the only palette in which I have a broken shadow. Because I tend to do my makeup on the floor everywhere I go, but I don't know if you can tell. This yellow is shattered. It's still like in the pan, as you can see. I can still use it. It's just like the top layer of it broke. This is probably my favorite color story out of all the Ace Beauté palettes, and I really never use it because of that broken shadow, which is so evil of me. It's such a gorgeous product, I want to use it more. Then I have the Oceanic from Ace Beauté. Beautiful blue-green color story. I love this one so much, and again, just don't get a lot of use out of it anymore. Finally, I have the Ambiance. This might actually be my favorite color story out of all of them, and it's the one that gets almost the most use. Beautiful neutrals with some dark murky colors in there. I can't love it more. Alright, we're almost done. Let's keep it rolling. I have this Laura Geller The Delectables Baked Eyeshadow Palette. I got this at the recommendation of my mother, actually, and I really do like it. It's just got some nice low intensity, low voltage, you could say, shimmers and mattes that just work really well with my eyes right now. I have two of the classic Anastasia palettes. This one is the Riviera. Beautiful, again, this screams summer to me, like summer on the coast kind of vibes. Love it, love it, love it. And then my favorite palette of all time, actually, is the Anastasia Soft Glam. I can't even put into words how beautiful I think this palette is. Everything about it is just so me. This is so foundational to my entire makeup collection. It was a gift from my mother. Like, there's a lot of sentimentality here. I adore everything about this palette. Almost done. We're going to talk about Mad About Hue next, a ColourPop palette. My only remaining ColourPop palette. And it's basically the most boring one you can get. It's just a matte rainbow palette. I got this to replace my other matte rainbow palettes that I had from other brands before. And this really doesn't get a lot of use anymore because I don't play with colors that much now, but when I do use it, and I do like to break it out in my Shop My Stash to have options for it pretty frequently, it just doesn't get used unless I do that, so I will continue doing that for sure, because I do love everything about this palette. I feel like I've said that about, like, all the palettes. I love everything about this, like, yeah, no shit. Finally, we have a couple of the Norvina collection palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I loved these for a long time. Don't really use them a lot anymore, but I still do love that these are just massive palettes of wonderful pigments. This is volume 2, just blue-green vibes. And here is volume 3, warm, dream, greens, reds, browns, love it. So, with a mess of makeup around me, I think I've taken you guys through my whole collection. If you guys saw any products that you have and love yourself, I would love to hear about it more in the comments. And other than that, I would just want to thank you guys for sticking with me through this long video in particular. Like I said, I don't really want makeup to be the focus of my channel, but it is something that I have an immense passion for and love sharing with people. So I hope this was enjoyable for you guys, even if you don't really care about makeup. Thank you all so very, very much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.